Hello, I'm Dan Owen. This is Passage Attack. Today we have Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, a pivotal passage in the book of Romans. And let's tear it apart together. The passage begins with a little therefore. Therefore is pointing us back to everything in the first 11 chapters, which is basically Paul's great doctrine of the justification by faith, how that all people are sinners, how that all people need God's grace, how that you can't have God's grace without Jesus Christ, how the redemptive work of Jesus Christ has given us mercy and forgiveness of sins, both past, present, and future, and that we're all dependent upon Jesus. That's the therefore. The same is conveyed through the statement or the phrase in the verse, through the mercies of God. The mercies of God is pointing back to everything that was discussed in the first 11 chapters. Romans 5:1, therefore, being made righteous by faith, we all have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. That's the mercies of God. If you're touched by the mercies of God in the book of Romans, then you're going to listen to the main part of this verse, which is the petition. Paul uses the word parakalo, I implore you, I beseech you, I beg you. On what basis, Paul, are you begging us? On the basis of the mercies of God that I've explained in the first 11 chapters. So, what does he ask us to do? I implore you to present, to give, to yield your bodies. Back in the 6 chapters, he talked about don't present your members as instruments of righteousness, but present yourselves to God. So because I'm moved by the mercies of God, I'm going to present my body. Give my body. Is he talking about, killing ourselves or martyring ourselves? No. Listen to what he says. Present our bodies as a sacrifice to God. So I'm presenting myself to God. As he said in chapter 6, present yourselves to God as alive from the dead, and present your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. So because I'm moved by the mercies of God, I'm going to present my body as a sacrifice to God. Well, what kind of a sacrifice? Paul says it's a living sacrifice. He doesn't want you to be martyred. What he wants you to do is live for him. Use your body and the members of your body to live for him. He says it's a holy sacrifice. It's a holy sacrifice because it's been set apart or dedicated to God. It's a pleasing sacrifice. And so he says you want to make this something that's pleasing to God. That's your desire, to be pleasing to God in this sacrifice of your body. What does that mean? What does that consist of? Which is the service of your mind. See, when your mind is dedicated to serving God, then your body is given as a living sacrifice to God. This word mind in this passage is logikein. It means your thinking. It means your commitments. It means your plans. It means all of those things. And so, as he says in Romans 7:25, I with my mind serve the law of God. Paul is asking the readers, because they're moved by God's mercy, to present their bodies and the service of their minds as an everyday, all-day sacrifice to God. But that's not all he's asking, because he says, and do not do this. So the imploring, the beseeching, the asking is, number one, to present, but it's also do not be conformed. In giving your body and your mind to God, you're not going to be conformed to something. Well, to this world. You're not going to be like the world. Your mind is going to be different from the world. He says, but be, notice, I'm begging you not to be this way, but I'm begging you to be this way, to be transformed. So I'm not going to be conformed, I'm going to be transformed. How so? By the renewing. There's going to be a change. What am I supposed to change? By the renewing of your mind. Well, see, if you go back to the end of verse 1, it's the service of your mind that drives your body as a living sacrifice. So by the renewing of your mind, so that you might approve certain things. Now see, Some people in the world approve different things, but you're going to approve of certain other things because your mind has been changed. What are we going to approve? We're going to approve what is God's will. See, the very presenting of ourselves to God is a not my will, but thine be done type thing. So when I let God change my mind, then I'm going to approve what is God's will. And what is that? Well, it's things that are good. It is things that are acceptable, and it is things that are perfect. This is what the whole passage says. God says, or Paul says in this passage, I'm begging you because of the wonderful mercy of God that you will give yourself to God, that you will not be conformed to the world, but you'll be transformed by a complete change of your mind so that you are approving God's will, things that are good, things that are acceptable, and things that are perfect. I hope this little grammatical breakdown will help you when you teach Romans 12, 1 and 2. God bless you. My name's Dan Owen. This is Passage Attack.